Teske. He's the PA guy. All right. Please tell me I'm not going to get hammered here. Okay, so let me ask you a question. It's kind of a sensitive thing.
Okay.
The music.
Maybe it was a big thing, like helping you land the perfect internship. Maybe it was something small, like offering a sympathetic listening ear when you missed your family. It might have been advice about your choice of major, spiritual guidance, or how to deal with roommate conflicts. Whatever it was, you knew that you were seen and heard. You walked away a little lighter, a little more confident, knowing that someone else was walking this journey with you. At Bethel University, we're more than an academic institution. Yes, we're proud of our internationally recognized programs. Students come to Bethel to be equipped for success in over 50 fields of study, from residential undergraduate to online master's degrees. But they stay because they're not walking alone. 7 in 10 residential students are active in one-on-one mentoring or small groups. From the dedicated faculty to friendly staff, everyone at Bethel cares deeply about helping you prepare for what you were meant to do. Because we all believe you're meant to do incredible things for God's kingdom. And it's true. Bethel alumni are active in 65 nations around the world. What connects you to Bethel? There's no question. It's the relationships and community that give purpose to everything you gain here. At Bethel University, we see you. At Bethel University, we know you, and we'll connect your passion with a pathway to impact the world for Christ. Be true. Be blue. Be you at Bethel University.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Regional Radio Sports Network. We're broadcasting live and in living color from inside the Gates Gym. We're down along the floor this afternoon for college volleyball and men's college basketball. Senior day here for volleyball. The Mount Vernon Nazarene University Cougars are in town under the direction of acting coach Molly Alexander and her assistant coach Kelsey Bright, taking on Katie Weiss and the Bethel University Pilots. Pilots at 12-21, 5-11 in the Crossroads League. They have performed admirably here at home, going 4-5. Mount Vernon at 23-9 and 10-7 overall. Joining me, the Hall of Famer, glad to have her back, Sarah Hendricks. Coach, first of all, big opportunity here for this Bethel team to try to erase a really, really, really bad memory. Last night, they got absolutely waxed by Indiana Wesleyan, 25-9, 25-18, 25-16. Granted, Indiana Wesleyan's the best team in the Crossroads League and ranked fourth best in the country, but they need to figure out something to try to get that nasty taste out of their mouth before postseason comes on the horizon.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a game the next day. That way you can hopefully get that bad taste out of your mouth. If I know Katie Weiss, she got right back in, to her girls and said, okay, we got to learn from that loss because, again, that was a great team. But how do we come back today mentally, physically, and be ready to play another tough team and get a win?
Mount Vernon has had a difficult road to hoe this season. It's a changing in the coaching staff due to some off the court issues. But these gals have been pretty resilient. I've spent some time with Molly Alexander, who's the acting coach, who's taken over for their longtime coach Paul Swanson, who's no longer coaching the volleyball program here. But when you look at a group of gals that's been really, really resilient, it certainly has been this Mount Vernon team. Of course, it's a program that has a tremendous amount of legacy, and they've come in and they have the most unique dynamic because despite the fact that all the teams in the Crossroads League have to go to Mount Vernon, Ohio to play games, they have to go to everybody places, and that's a difficult situation. They spend a lot of time in buses, and you know as well as I do, you have to be a pretty well-seasoned and disciplined student-athlete to be able to handle all the road trips that they have to take on the Crossroads Trail.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about these kids is they're so used to playing a lot of clubs, so they spend a lot of time in the car, on the bus, on the way to these different tournaments and stuff, so you forget how used they are to just getting out of the car, playing a full day of volleyball, getting back in. But, it's a whole different situation when you're in college now. You got to worry about your studies, so you're learning how to balance being on the road, playing a sport, and getting your studies done, getting your homework done, and still being a good student-athlete.
Mount Vernon, of course, coming in here today, 23 wins and 9 losses. Molly Alexander, I spent some time with her, Sarah, just a couple minutes ago, and just got her thoughts on the season as a whole. College volleyball here today from Mike Lightfoot Court inside the Gates Gymnasium. Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars, Molly Alexander, the acting head coach, spending some time with us prior to today's matchup. And once again, you get into this crazy schedule, Molly. Friday night, Saturday night, you guys are on the road. And let's face it, anybody who's been in this league, as long as the Mount Vernon Cougars have been in this league, it's difficult for not only the teams that are the original teams to go to Mount Vernon. It's equally as different for you guys to have to go to all the different schools. So yes. That's a time management, that's a player management situation. So how are you handling that?
Yes, absolutely. That was actually something the players and I were just talking about this morning, how much more traveling we do to come to the Crossroads League. But it is such an advantage as well because the competition in the Crossroads League is just so tremendous. But traveling-wise, we just really encourage the girls to get a lot of sleep before, after, and also just be prepared for those travel days. And our girls have adjusted well to that.
Look back on last night's game against Taylor. What were some things you were encouraged about? What were some things that maybe sent up a red flag for you?
So we were a little slow out of the gate. I mean, the first couple games were rough for us, took us a little bit to get our footing. But really after that, the girls were, again, very resilient just in their play. And that to me was encouraging. Just that after the first two games, a lot of times it's easy to say, well, there's the game, but they didn't. They came back that third set and they were just determined. Even in the fifth game, they played with a lot of enthusiasm and fought for every point. So that's very encouraging for us on the road.
All right, give us an idea what concerns you about Katie's Bethel team.
Like I said, every team in the Crossroads League is just phenomenal competition-wise. So today we're really going to have to be just diligent on our serve receive and our defense, and we'll just have to be one of those teams that doesn't let anything hit the floor.
Realistically, if you were to look back in the last decade of being in this league, this Mount Vernon team could be the best team in the league, probably 8 of the 10 years. Mm-hmm. But right now, because of the dominance of Indiana Wesleyan and Marion, this is just off-the-chart stuff.
Yes, it really is. And again, this was something we were discussing last night of just how the fluctuation in the league and how, IWU is always in the top, but then the rest of the teams, we do fluctuate. But that's also a good thing because it brings out different things in each school.
All right, make it real simple for our viewers. Offensively, defensively, what do you have to do to win?
I think offensively today we just have to use a variety. You can't swing too much, you can't tip too much, you have to hit the holes. And defensively, again, we just have to be resilient and run everything down, stay up, and just play great defense.
Good luck in the postseason and continued success.
Thank you, Paul.
Once again, Molly spending some time with us. Great to have her. Just a really wonderful young lady. Glad to spend some time with her here today. Really interesting situation, Sarah. They were down on the road at Taylor University, got behind a couple games, really rallied back, only to lose it, a heartbreaker in 5. But if you look at the home stretch run, really since October, they've beaten all the teams they should have beaten, and of course they've lost. You may want to talk about that Grace game they lost 3-2 on the 16th, especially when you look at the standings. But just like everybody else, they're getting waxed by that great Marion team, that Indiana Wesleyan team, and Grace is right next to them in the standings. So that's a situation where they may potentially see each other in postseason play. Now for this team, they shouldn't have any problems, I'm thinking, based upon records, closing this thing out where they're at right now. They've got Bethel and, of course, Ohio Christian. Right now, Mount Vernon is the better team on paper. But once again, we still got to play them, right?
Yep, exactly. And that's, again, we always talk about how with volleyball on any given night, a team shows up, decides to play, and it's a senior night. We've got a couple seniors here, and you just never know. One team has a great night. One team has some errors with the scoring, with the way everything goes. It's an any game, any team kind of night.
I spent some time with Katie Weiss, and I got some thoughts from the Bethel skipper just a few minutes ago. Pilots in action here today on Senior Day as Mount Vernon is in town. Katie Weiss spending time with us here prior to today's Senior Day event. Well, before we start talking about last night's game against IOU and, of course, Mount Vernon, Senior Day is a really emotional day for coaches, for moms and dads, as well as a student athlete. Some of my fondest memories looking back on when I was coaching is when I was like to say when I was playing, but I wasn't playing a heck of a lot like you were. But certainly in those days, it's an emotional time. You're thinking about, hey, this is going to be the last time I potentially play with these people. You've been there as an athlete, and then you've seen it as an assistant coach, and you've been through it as a head coach. Talk about Bridget Downs and what she's meant to you and to your team.
Yeah, Bridget is she's a fiery little redhead. She really embodies that idea. She's very independent. She's opinionated. She's just a hard-nosed character, and I love that about her. Because it's what has caused her to be successful. She's a 4.0 student. She's never had less than an A here during her time at Bethel, because she cares about the little things, and she works her butt off on the court and in the classroom. So she will be missed. That's big shoes to fill, actually, literally little shoes. But she has a great position that she's held for years, and it'll be hard to replace her.
When you look at kids who you want your children to grow up to be like, there are very few people that you would say, hey, listen, I want my daughter to be like that person. I want my son to be like that one. Could I say the same thing about her?
Well, for sure. Her determination, she's going to be successful at whatever she wants to do because she won't take no for an answer.
All right. As much as it pains me to do so, we have to talk about last night's game against Indiana Wesleyan. First of all, let's get credit is due. That a great recruiting class, and they are the best team in the Crossroads League by far, and one of the 5 best teams in all of America.
Absolutely. They are a great, tough team, and it makes them very hard to play because you're just every position they've got the best out there, and so you can't single out a certain player or position because all of them are coming at you quick and are able to execute the ball. So tough game last night. Yeah.
Mount Vernon, let's turn our attention. Molly has had a tough situation to go through. So are these gals. We won't get into all the details, but they've handled it as well as they possibly can. So let's talk about them. They're coming off back-to-back 30-win seasons a couple years ago, and of course last year it certainly wasn't where they were at, going 15-20. This is a program that knows how to win. Some of these gals are just still learning what some of the history of their program is about, but historically speaking, it's been a great program. What concerns you about this group the second time around?
Yeah, some of the things that we didn't take care of when we played them earlier, their setter number 12, Paige, she makes them win. She's a very good setter, puts them in system so often when they shouldn't be, because maybe the pass wasn't great, but she puts it right on the money, and she dumps a lot. And, that just those points here, there, you want our defensive players want to get back into position, and you just can't leave early because she'll throw it right over there and get a point for them. So, and then also, Tori, one of their middles, is just very unpredictable in how she attacks the ball. It's hard to know whether she's just going to throw it or if she's going to swing hard. And then her tips are effective as well. And so just being able to eye sequence, get a block on her, and then play really good defense is going to be key for us.
Okay, let's talk about the keys for your team. Who on your team may have an advantage in some personnel matchups within your system that would prevent or that will allow you to be successful?
Yeah, just watching Mount Vernon and the different middles that they have and the speeds that they have. Tori is a great swinger, but she's a little bit more slow closing to the pins. So I hope to take advantage of that by getting a lot of swings out there quick before they can close with 2. I think, Kelsey Grusdov is so fast and has such a great vertical that I hope to match her up well and get her some fast offensive swings too. So hopefully our middles and our outsides will really be key in victory today. Do a really good job of getting there, and I hope Maddie's sets are on point as well.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Senior Day festivities continue here from Bethel University. The Pilots in action against Mount Vernon. We'll be back with more right after this on Regional Radio Sports. Once again, our coverage today from Bethel being presented in part by our friends at the Gates Automotive Group. They want to know what you are thankful for. During November, take a no-hassle, no-obligation valet test drive and get a free turkey or a ham for your holiday dinner. Gates is thankful for your continued trust in them to provide dependable service and great vehicles at low prices. For more information, go to www.gatesautomotive.com. Sarah McFarland Hendricks with me today. I'm glad to have the All-American and two-time state champion. Sarah, last night it was a tough road to hoe for the Pilots. They just absolutely got waxed. You're looking at the box score right now. However, Mount Vernon, despite falling behind 2-0 in their match at Taylor University, they were able to rally, and even though they fell in 5, they were able to, if you will, get some momentum, at least coming back. You've looked at both of the box scores and some of the things going on. Who's this going to be easier for to rebound after both teams lost last night, you think?
It's interesting because I was kind of looking at both teams and personnel here, and they're both very young, not 1-2 seniors on both sides. So for Nazarene to come back last night and beat a team in 5 after being down 2, that kind of says a lot about their group. And, we've watched Katie's team, and on any given night they can be exceptional, and then we've also seen them really struggle. So it's kind of going to depend on which team comes out to play today. But, you always hope that your team lets go of that loss and moves on and comes in for a new day and starts over again. And especially with it being a senior day, you kind of wash off what happened last night and start again. But this Nazarene team, I'm excited to see them play, especially with what they did last night. I think they must have some grit going on to be able to come back from it being down like that and still pull out a win.
All right, now I want you to tell me about senior day. I want you to go back to your senior day at Michigan City High School. I want you to take me back to your senior day when you started at Loyola Marymount. And I also want you to take me to the days that you were coaching over at Penn High School when you won a state championship. So you have seen this on 3 different occasions. So here in the next minute or so, share your thoughts on what senior day means to you.
Yeah, senior day is such a different emotion for every kid because you got, especially when you're looking at college, most of these girls, this really is their last game. When you're in high school, some of the kids are going on to play in college. For some, it's their last game ever. For some, they know it's not. But when you're looking at college, unless you're going to go play overseas or do something like that, for most of these kids, this really, it is their last game for sure at home. And then it means for them that the close of the season is coming. And, you talk to so many kids later on in their career or lives and they're, they're at work or they're, starting their professional life and they go, I wish I could go back. I just wish I could go back to the days when it was easier and I got to just play some volleyball. And as a coach, it's just such a special night because you've watched kids that have put in such hard work and have given you everything that they can for the program, for you, the relationship that you've built with them. I still talk to kids that I coached who are now having families or whatever they're doing, and it's such a special bond that you create with your players. So just a special night no matter what in general to just celebrate. You hope you can pull out a win with it, but at the end of the day, it's really just celebrating all the hard work that those players have put in because just not everybody can do this for 4 years or 2 years or however many years they end up being here. A lot of kids think that they're going to go play in college, and a lot of kids start maybe playing in college, but not a lot finish. I think when I was a senior, we were thinking about this the other night in college, I started with 6, and 2 of us finished all 4 years. And for a D1, that it takes a lot, but at any level, it's a special commitment that these girls put in.
Taking a look at where these teams have come down the home stretch, if you look back, the Pilots winners of 3 straight, Goshen, Taylor, Spring Arbor, before losing last night to Indiana Wesley. They'll finish out their season, obviously, with a game today, and then they have that Marion team that is currently 15-1 in the Crossroads League and 27-1. Their lone loss was to their arch rival, Indiana Wesley. Now, if you look at this Mount Vernon squad and what they have done, Mount Vernon is coming off a win against Huntington, a win against Goshen, and then, of course, a heartbreaking 3-2 loss last night at Taylor. They'll finish, of course, this is their final Crossroads League game tonight before closing out against Ohio Christian, and then everybody can turn their attention to Crossroads League play. And taking a look at the Crossroads League standings coming into this final few days of the regular season. Indiana Wesleyan and Marion both at 15-1 in league play. And Marion's won 16 straight games. Indiana Wesleyan's won 9 straight. Overall, Indiana Wesleyan 29-1, Marion at 27-1. Amazing. St. Francis, which is receiving votes, is 20-12 overall, 11-6 in league play. Mount Vernon, as we alluded to, 23-9 and 10-7. So those 4 teams would be home in the first round of the tournament if they were to start today. Grace is at 9-7 and 5-16 overall. Taylor is 20-15 overall and 9-8 in league play. Huntington comes in with a 14-7 mark and 6-10 in league play. And then the Pilots would be in that A spot right now at 5-11 and, of course, 12-20. Now, when you look at the big picture, depending upon who gets the tiebreaker, Indiana Wesleyan would host the Bethel Pilots as if we were to play right now. And certainly there's all kinds of tiebreakers going on. And if you look at what's going on today in league play, Mount Vernon, of course, here at Bethel, Goshen at Taylor, Indiana Wesleyan's at Huntington, and Marion is at Grace, and Spring Arbor is at St. Francis. So as you look at the big picture on how the league has kind of played itself out, 1 and 2 are exactly where we thought they would be, and they have really kind of gone beast mode on everybody this year. When you have 2 teams that dynamic, like we've seen here, it's going to be a pretty special year for the league, and wishing those teams best of luck as they go into the NAI tournament series, which will be coming up here. Hey, we're going to head on down to Keith Kateski, the public address man here at Bethel University. He's going to take over the program, and they're going to do some of the Senior Day festivities, and we're going to enjoy some of that with Double K right now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the campus of Bethel University for today's contest between the Cougars of Mount Vernon Nazarene University and your Bethel University Pilots. Bethel University welcomes all players, officials, and spectators to today's match. As participants in the NAIA's Champions of Character initiative, we ask each of you to help create a positive, competitive environment by showing respect for one another. On behalf of the Crossroads League and Bethel University, please enjoy today's match. Today is Senior Day here at Bethel, and the Bethel Pilots are proud to honor number 11 senior libero Bridget Downs, escorted today by her parents, Joe Downs and Mary Beth Lovelace. Bridget is an exercise science major and will continue in graduate school, becoming ultimately an occupational therapist. Bridget is fourth in the conference this year for digs. She has 1,532 digs to date, and today she will receive her gold ball for completing 1,000 digs in her career. Bridget has been named an NCCAA and NAIA Scholar Athlete, NCCAA All-Region Team, was named Defender of the Week in 2018, and was named All-Conference Honorable Mention, and has carried a 4.0 GPA her entire college career. Coach Weiss's words about Bridget are as follows. Bridget has grown tremendously throughout her career. She is a fiery redhead with strong opinions and a very independent spirit. This has at times frustrated me, but now it endears her to me. Those character traits are what have made her successful. She has stepped out of her comfort zone and learned more about herself and how to lead this team. She has played through pain and overcome surgery. She never gives up and has worked hard every practice of her career. I'm so proud of Bridget, and she will indeed be greatly missed. Bridget's message to her team on this Senior Day: thank you all for the great 4 years. I wouldn't trade the fun times and memories for anything. Remember to love the game, because your senior year will come faster than you think. Now, let's go kick some butt. Sounds like Bridget. Ladies and gentlemen, number 11, Bridget Downs. And at this time, I'll ask that everyone please stand. Gentlemen, kindly remove your hats for an opening prayer, followed by the playing of our national anthem. Let's pray. Gracious Lord, we thank you for this day and the opportunity now that we have to honor you through the game of volleyball. Lord, we thank you for safety and travel for all who have come. We thank you for the chance now to glorify you by the excellence by which we play the game and the attitudes of our hearts. We pray not only for players and coaches, but for all of us, spectators alike, God, that you would help us to encourage and cheer with good sportsmanship and proper perspective in mind. Lord, we're grateful for all that you're doing in our lives and for the opportunity now to honor you in this match. We give it to you in Christ's name. Amen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the players in today's match, beginning with the visiting Cougars from Mount Vernon Nazarene University. Beginning with the non-starters, a 5'8 sophomore from Centerburg, Ohio, number 6, Elena Wright. A 5'9 freshman from Canton, Ohio, number 7, Ashley Stumperth. A 5'7 freshman from Irwin, Ohio, number 8, Mandy Scheffel. A 5'11 freshman from Rittman, Ohio, wearing number 11, Erica Gasser. A 5'7 freshman from Valley City, Ohio, number 13, Molly Galashewski. A 5'7 freshman from Sugar Creek, Ohio, number 15, Emma Warcall. And a 5'6 sophomore from Winchester, Ohio, wearing number 17, Sydney Kendall. And now your starters for the Cougars, a 5'7 junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 1, Casey Bunner. A 5'10 junior from Solon, Ohio, wearing number 2, Mary Kate Harmody. A 5'9 sophomore from West Salem, Ohio, number 5, Nicole Winkler. A 6'0 senior from Bucyrus, Ohio, wearing number 9, Alyssa Hare. A 5'7 freshman from Copley, Ohio, number 12, Paige Brenner. And a 6'0 sophomore from Amherst, Ohio, number 16, Tori Small. Libero for the Cougars today, a 5'1 sophomore from Wheelersburg, Ohio, wearing number 4, Ellie Ruby. Head coach for the Cougars is Paul Swanson, assisted by Molly Alexander and Kelsey Bright. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the players for your home Bethel University Pilots. Beginning today with your non-starters. A 5'5 freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana, wearing number 2, Kennedy Kintz. A 5'6 freshman from Valparaiso, Indiana, number 4, Rachel Vendel. A 6'1 freshman from Elkhart, Indiana, wearing number 8, Sue Vandigriff. A 6'2 freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 12, Isabel North. A 5'7 junior from Elkhart, Indiana, number 13, Mackenzie Williams. A 5'3 freshman from Bern, Indiana, wearing number 15, Hannah Dahl. A 5'9 freshman from Bern, Indiana, number 17, Shaylin Bowman. And a 5'8 sophomore from South Bend, Indiana, wearing number 18, Megan Hosinski. And now your starters for the Pilots. A 5'9 junior from Goshen, Indiana, number 1, Kelsey Grozda. A 5'9 junior from Kendallville, Indiana, number 6, Peyton Hurt. A 6'0 junior from Valparaiso, Indiana, wearing number 9, Abby Armold. A 6'1 sophomore from Allentown, Pennsylvania, wearing number 10, Madison Beaver. A 5'11 freshman from Kalamazoo, Michigan, number 14, Kelsey Fiedema. And a 6'1 senior from Anchorage, Alaska, wearing number 16, AJ McDonald. And at libero today for your Pilots, our senior, number 11, a 5'5 senior from Lexington, Kentucky, Bridget Downs. The Pilots are coached by Katie Weiss, assisted by Lisa DeJesus, Hannah Curtis, and Kristen Mitchell. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll direct your attention to center court, we're ready to get today's match underway.
All right, great job by Double K, as always. Just a picture of professionalism here at the broadcast table. Glad that he's here. Mount Vernon will be on the right side of the floor, decked out, of course, in the black spandex, the dark green jerseys. The numbers are gray, trimmed in white. The Pilots, once again, with the black spandex and the blue jerseys with the white numbers. Pilots written in white on the back. Mount Vernon Nazarene University has MVNU on the back of their green jerseys. As you look at today's match, certainly the guys who are going to be calling it all for us here today will feature up here on the tape will be Dan Matz. He's from Elkhart. Christolis from Angola will be down here along the scorer's bench. Kendall Schaefer and Don Creed from LaPorte and Mishawaka, respectively, will be doing all the line judging out here today. So we're glad you can join us here for Senior Day. Glad you can join us for our season finale here from Bethel University. Sarah, you got any final thoughts before we get underway?
You know, I just always love to see what lineup Katie's going to put out, because we've seen a lot of different lineups. She's got a lot of different players that can play in a lot of different positions. Looks like we're going to start with Beaver setting, and so kind of see where we go from here, where we start or where we finish. She's got so many different options that she can use, and it's always interesting to me if we let Beaver hit or if she's just in a setting position.
Going to be Paige Bruner from Copley High School in Ohio, a 5'7 freshman, will serve. And she'll be punching it from right to left. We are underway. Crossroads League Volleyball, and a service error right from the get-go gives the Pilots a 1-0 lead.
Never the way you want to start a game, but that's okay for the Pilots. It's the way they would love for them to start the game, right?
And now the Pilots to serve in the person of Ellie Ruby. Well, this is going to be a really different vantage point for yours truly, especially with the official right here near us. You and I have been accustomed to being up high. Here is a Hart diving play kept alive by Ruby. Angle one to the far side, and now the Pilots come back on the attack. This one sent home. Well played.
Yeah, we can already see one of the Pilots' thing that they're going to try to do is serve number 9, Alyssa Hare. She's one of their best players, best hitters. They're going to try and serve her, take her out of the hitting rotation.
Rachel Vendel on the serve. Hare keeps it alive, and one thing that we haven't had to deal with is players coming flying at us. This one hammered home. Big hit by Kelsey Grosdorf, and the Pilots out to a 3-0 lead.
Bethel already getting to do what they want to do. Katie Weiss talked about wanting to run a quick offense, hoping that those sets were getting where they needed to be, and right now connecting very well.
Here's Hare with a pass over to the near side. This one deflected and went through the double block, that time of Grosdorf and Hart. And that makes it a 3-1 Bethel advantage.
And again, I think Hare's going to have to get used to passing the ball tonight because they're going to find her wherever they can. Great, which is a great strategy.
Mary Kate Harmony, and that'll be an ace for her. She handcuffed Bridget Downs. And it's now 3-2. If you look at Harmony, that's her 21st ace of the season to go along with 106 digs, 264 kills, and 4 assists on the season. Here are the Pilots coming back on the attack. Nice play by Brenner to keep it alive. Back to the far side, the double block. Well done at the point of attack. This one sent back, and Downs sends it up the elevator shaft, and then Bridget tries to save it. Couldn't do it. That one's punched home by Nicole Winkler, and we're tied at 3-3.
And Winkler right now is their leading attacker, so we're going to want to keep a close eye on her tonight. She came into this game with 340 kills.
Harmony sends one back where it's played by Downs over to the far side. Hart finds the back line, and she scores. That makes it 4-3. What a year for Peyton Hart. 105 games, 331 kills, make it 332 after that one. 253 digs, 23 assists, 14 aces, and 25 blocks. And there's another one for Peyton. She punches that one away.
And a great redirection. Everybody thinks she's going to go one way. Instead of always getting up and just smashing the ball down, it's just kind of gently tapping it where they aren't.
And now again the serve will be the pass. Here's a pass here to the right side. This one sent right up the elevator shaft, and out of bounds it goes. And that'll be a point for Mount Vernon. And it's now a 5-4 Pilot advantage. I like this viewpoint, but one thing about it, going to make sure you don't keep your head down too many
Yeah, no, you'll
times.
get smashed.
The last time I did a game on the court, I think had to be the Michigan City Marquette Volleyball State Championships back with Curtis Johnston. You remember that?
I do. It's probably one that my good friend played on.
Yeah, so here come the Pilots back on the long rally. There's Maddie Beaver with that last return. This one goes on. Maddie keeps that alive. And then finally Abby Armel sends it back the other way. They're setting one up and punched home. Nice job by Trory Small, the Amherst, Ohio product, to score. And that makes it 5-5, our second tie of game one. And Winkler, a product of West Salem, Ohio, went to Northwestern High School, is on the serve. Here's Abby Armel with a nice play. And that'll be a point for the Pilots to give him the lead at 6-5.
Kind of nice being down here, too. We get to see what the coaches are saying, a little more in the action as to what the kids are saying to each other. So, yeah, just a kind of whole different vantage point.
Here comes the serve from Mackenzie Williams. There's a pass over here to the right side, hammered home. Well played there by Ashley Stumperth, the Glen Oak High School product from Canton, Ohio, a 5'9" freshman. We're tied at 6-6.
And Stumper with another one that came in with 302 kills, so they're going to want to watch that freshman.
Here's one picked off the shoot tops by Vendel and backed away. They cannot trigger the scoring opportunity, and Mount Vernon has the lead at 7-6. First time the Cougars have had the advantage. There's a line drive serve. Bethel on the attack here to the near side. Punched home by Abby Arnold. And Abby now with 175 kills, making 176 with that one. And we're tied at 7-up. Hart with a line drive serve. Nearly handcuffs Winkler, and the Pilots with the play score it, making it 8-7 and 2 unanswered.
McDonald does a great job of knowing where her setter is and knowing that that's actually her hitter, so she was up to block that.
Hart once again with that line drive serve, played by Galashevsky. And the Pilots again with the score and making it 9-7 as Hart has been part of this rally with 3 consecutive winners. This one going to be played here on the right side. They go to the back corner. Hart keeps it alive. McDonald on the return. Now here's Winkler. This one punched around, and Bridget Douts kept it alive, and then they're going to call the carry.
And Peyton Hart coming off that injury, we're used to seeing her do that real heavy topspin jump serve, but the serve she's using right now is just as effective as that jump serve.
Ellie Ruby, the 5'1 sophomore who wearing that white libero jersey. McDonald sends one up high in front of our vantage point. And here's the double block. Well done by the Pilots at the net. This one. It's going to be a point for the Cougars, and we're tied 9-9.
Yeah, and they're trying to ask what part of her is hitting the net. And as she's coming around on her swing block, she's kind of swinging through, and so she's just catching the net with the bottom of those hands.
Here's Mackenzie Williams setting up Hart, and she misplayed that one. And that gives the Cougars a 10-9 lead. Again, Ruby on the serve. 22 aces and 652 digs on the season. Here's a dunk for Madison Beaver, and we're tied 10-10.
Yeah, if you look at Beaver's stats, it's always interesting to me. I mean, she's at 193 kills now coming in on the season. 3rd in kills for this team. Now, we know sometimes she does hit, but for the most part, she's a setter. So for that setter to have the 3rd leading kills on this team, you can't leave her alone.
I mean, that was just basically a one-hand flush.
Yep.
That's what that was. We saw one of those last night in the Bethel IUSB men's game.
Oh.
Here's one kept alive. This one picked up off the floor by Williams. McDonald scores. Pilots lead 11-10.
McDonald using the block on that one, finding the hitter's hands, tooling off the side of the block.
And again to serve will be Hannah Marie Doe. She punches it with the right hand, angles one over here, goes out of bounds, and that's service error. The first for Bethel. Makes this an 11-11 game here in game number 1, just underway here from the Gates Gymnasium here in this Crossroads League match between the 23-9 Cougars and the 12-21 Pilots. Hart couldn't corral it, and that'll be an ace.
Hart kind of struggling with her feet right now, which is not a surprise with that left knee that's been, bothering her, but getting some of those hard balls, which Nazarene's taking a good, they're making her move, which is not something she's super comfortable.
Here's McDonald sending one. Kept nicely alive that time by Galashevsky. Over here, Gruzstoff is able to punch one through the double block. As trying to rotate over was Harmony and Winkler. And now we're tied at 12-12. Eight ties already, Sarah, here in the early stages of this one.
Which we see, Bethel, I feel like we see them do that quite a bit.
Here's an ace on the far side for the Pilots. Well played by Maddie Beaver. Madison now with a team-high 46 aces. Bethel leads at 13-12. She angles one to the far side. That one nearly handcuffed Ruby again. Here's Downs with the pass over to the near side. McDonald sends it home.
And a great play there. If you notice, the middle and the right side both came for a double quick, making it hard for the block on the other side to try to figure out who was hit that they should actually block, and then the setter pushes out to the outside hitter, leaving McDonald one-on-one to put that ball away.
Madison with another opportunity. The 6'1 sophomore. Here, ball dug out by Galashevsky. Hart with the pass, and then Maddie hits one off the tape, and it falls harmlessly to the floor. The Pilots will take the freebie, and it makes it 15-12. Bethel's largest lead has been matched at 3. They started out 3-0, and now here they are again, up 3 at 15-12. Here's Mount Vernon on the offensive attack. This one coming back here. Beaver keeps it alive, not a Downs. setting up Hearts. Here's one played off the shoot tops. This one blocked, kept nicely alive on the redirect by Mary Kate Harmony. And now on the attack, here's Bieber with the passes to McDonald, and she scores!
Great spot.
16-12, and that's going to be a timeout by Mount Vernon. 4 unanswered since we were deadlocked at 12-12. We'll be back after the timeout. We're live from Bethel University on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
When your child's in the hospital, the last thing you want to do is to leave their bedside.
If we had to leave the hospital at any time, it would have drove us nuts.
The family room was definitely a blessing for us. We needed to be close to our daughter, and it gave us exactly what we needed at that time.
Make a difference in the life of a family when they need it most. Give to the Ronald McDonald House at Memorial Children's Hospital in South Bend. Donate to our new house at loveshinethrough.org.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Paul Condry along with Sarah McFarland Hendricks, and Tanya Condry were directing all the traffic upstairs. She's the star of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake about it. With the ball, here's Mount Vernon sending it back the other way was Casey Bunner. They're setting up McDonald again. This one kept alive again by Galashevsky. Oh, a nice little soft toss to keep that one alive. Here is McDonald redirecting one. Diving play kept alive by Ruby just for the moment. But once again, the Pilots a 17-12 advantage, their largest of the first game.
Yeah, Cougars have got to pass the ball better here. They're just not taking control of the ball. Bethel pushing them off the net.
Madison Beaver's been the part of this, and this one sent home on the far side. I believe that was Paige Brenner with the kill. That makes it 17-13, and that ends a 6-0 run. And now to serve for the Cougars. This one is good. This one kept alive here by Ellie Ruby. This one here keeps it alive, and then great job on the redirect by Kelsey Fiedema. This one sent Bridget down with the save. To Beaver, over to McDonald. Kept nicely alive by Ellie Ruby of Mount Vernon. This one deflected high. Now Beaver with the pass to McDonald. Kept alive again by Ruby. This one double blocked, well done. And the Cougars really ran out of space that time. Here's a redirect and a score for Madison Beaver, and the Pilots lead at 18-13.
Big hole on the floor right now for the Cougars. That center of the court, hopefully, I'm sure Katie's telling her team when we're in trouble, that's where the ball needs to go. And at the same time, Cougars need to dedicate somebody to get that ball. It's fallen too much.
There's the ball served by Rachel Vendel. There's one hammered, diving play by Vendel to keep that one alive. This one goes to the far side where it's played by Brenner. This one kept alive by Downs on the diving play. Here's Hart with the hammer. Kept alive by Paige Benner again. And this one goes out of bounds. The Pilots will take the point and now balloon their lead to its largest of the day at 6 at 19-13. And again to serve Rachel Vendel. This one kept alive by Brenner. Here's one deflected around, and once again, Mount Vernon back on the attack. This one kept alive by Downs. The Beaver, this one just caught in the line by Kelsey Grusdorf, and the Pilots now lead 20-13.
Caught the corner right on that one.
And once again, number 4 on the serve. Mount Vernon on the attack. This one mishit by Alyssa Hare. That makes it 21-13. Timeout again. Mount Vernon, Bethel, its largest lead at 21-13. Our coverage today being presented in part by the Gates Automotive Group. Let Gates Automotive put a turkey on your table for the holidays. During November, take a no-obligation, no-hassle valet test drive and get a free turkey or ham. Choose from over 1,000 vehicles at Gates Chevy World, Gates Toyota, Gates of Granger, or the Gates of Elkhart. For more information, go to www.gatesautomotive.com. We've seen some emotion out of Molly Alexander, not happy with her team.
Everything's just kind of not going right for Nazarene right now, but one of the biggest things that I'm seeing is just a lot of miscommunication. Players looking at each other, hoping someone else is going to take the ball, pass the ball, do whatever, and right now they just kind of need to go back to square one and go, let's pass the ball, because Bethel's getting to do what they want to do, which is push them off the net. They can't get the ball to the hitters that they want, so they got to step in, take control of this ball, and pass the ball.
Rachel Vendel. All-conference school record for the most digs in a single match at Valparaiso High School with 47. Pretty sizable achievement right there. Here's Hart. Diving play kept nicely alive by Ellie Ruby. This one deflected around, and Maddie Beaver tried to save the day, but nice job by Mount Vernon to just get it over the outstretched hands of Gruzdoff and Kelsey Fiedema. And that makes it 21-14. Mount Vernon on the slap serve from Mary Kate Harmony. There's Bunner with the pass, sent back the other way by Winkler. The Pilots setting up the defense here, kept nicely alive by Vendel. This one will be a point for the Pilots as it ricochets off the hands of Paige Brenner. And Bethel leads it now 22-14.
And Bethel's doing a great job of using the block, especially on the right side. They got a big block over there, and they're using her hands.
This one kept alive by Bunner. Over to the right side. This one kept alive by Bridget Downs. And now finally, Bethel comes back on the defense now, and this one mishit here by Nicole Winkler. The West Salem, Ohio native couldn't finish it. And they're going to say that. Well,
okay.
I guess that's going to be a point for Mount Vernon. I thought it was the other way around from where we were sitting. Here's Hart. Nice block, kept alive, and once again, the Pilots run out of time. And that makes it 22-16. 2 unanswered by the Cougars here. There's Nicole Winkler. 307 digs, 340 kills to go along with 16 aces. Was on that last serve. And here's Abby Arnold trying to send one to the far side. Couldn't get it done. That makes it 22-17. Now the question is, if you're Katie Weiss, when do you take your time out here?
Yeah,
they run off 3 straight now.
No, I won't want to let that get too far out of control.
Winkler with a nice save, and that one's coming our way. And
no, it went off her hands.
And they're going to give that point to the visitors from Mount Vernon, Ohio. Here's Vendel with the pass over here. Arnold scores. That makes it 23-18. That ends a 4-0 run for Mount Vernon. As Mackenzie Williams comes back in, and exiting will be Kelsey Fiedema, the 5'10 freshman from Schoolcraft, Michigan. I was talking with Chris Hess, the assistant athletic director here. He says maybe the best player in the Pilots program hasn't even played at all this year. Still waiting to get clearance from the NAIA. We're talking about Izzy North, the 6'2 freshman. I was watching her during the warm-ups, and my, oh my, is she going to be a powerhouse for this Bethel team.
Agree. I was wondering actually why we hadn't seen more action from her.
She was homeschooled, and here's one hammered home. We're waiting on the clearance from the political body that is the NAIA. Here's Abby Arnold with the score. Pilots now will be serving for the first game / set of the match. And it certainly will be a good start for Katie Weiss's gals. As Hart is on the serve, and here's McDonald. And that's kept nicely alive by Ashley Stumper. This one directed around, and this one set right up the elevator shaft, deflected around, and now kept alive.
A little game of ping pong.
Absolutely. The redirect, here's one blocked, kept nicely alive by Ruby. Roundhouse right goes long, and there's Downs to save the day. Over to the far side, McDonald. That one hit off the tape, and that'll be a point for the Cougars as they stave off elimination here in game one. That makes it 24-20. And quickly back into the game will be Mary Kate Harmony for the Cougars. Williams over to the far side. McDonald's who wins it for the Pilots. 25-20 our score as Bethel breaks up in a close game. We had 8 ties. We were tied at 12-12. And then after that point in time, Bethel got themselves some distance and jumped out to a 16-12 lead. And, of course, at that point in time, Molly Alexander took a timeout. And then the Pilots never relinquished the lead as they held on for a 25-20 win. We'll be back with some thoughts from Sarah McFarland Hendricks and more of our continued coverage of the Crossroads League here on Regional Radio Sports.
Manage your money like a pro with TCU. You can score big with the TCU Debit MasterCard that gives you cash back on everyday purchases. Plus, you'll win with access to hundreds of free ATMs across Indiana. Check out TCU's starting lineup of services to help you manage your cash and build your savings. Visit TCUnet.com to kick off your better banking experience. See TCU Debit MasterCard terms and conditions for details. Alliance One and Co-op ATMs within Indiana are free. New members are subject to a $7 membership fee and $5 initial share deposit.
Discover better banking at Teachers Credit Union. More than 300,000 already have. They know better banking means better rates on savings, loans, and mortgages, and being treated like more than a number. At TCU, you don't have to be a teacher to enjoy better banking, just someone who enjoys personal attention and solid financial solutions. Go to tcunet.com/betterbanking to learn more. TCU, better rates, better service, better banking. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA and we're an equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 60.
Welcome back here to Bethel University. Paul County along with the Hall of Famer and state champion, Sarah McFarland Hendricks. Sarah, your thoughts of the first game? Like I said, it was a nip and tuck affair till we got to about 12-12, and then the Pilots got on a roll and were able to dig up enough energy, if you pardon the expression, to pull away for a win in game one.
Yeah, I think what's going nicely for the Pilots is I know Katie's not happy with their serve receive, but Beaver's putting out a good ball, quick attack, so they're not knowing who's going to go to, and getting a lot of one-on-one with our hitters and using the block, and really coming up strong with some kills there. Whereas on the other side with Nazarene right now, they're just not communicating very well, and their serve receive is really poor. So they're not able. They like to run a lot of quicks, a lot of fast attempt type things, and when they're not passing the ball at all, they're not. So they got to just start talking to each other again, get some energy up back going on this. And as we can see in this hitting percentage, Bethel came up with a 280, whereas Nazarene was only at a 146, 11 kills for the Cougars, whereas the Pilots were at 19 kills. So that's, that says a lot right there. And you're going to have to pass the ball if you want to put the ball away.
All right, we've switched sides of the floor. Once again, the Pilots decked out in the blue jerseys, the white numbers. And the Cougars will be on the left side of the floor, decked out in the dark green numbers with the gray numbers trimmed in white. Glad you can hang out with us here today. Tell you what, reunited, and it feels so good for Sarah and Lisa here on the floor.
I always like it when I get to see my little Lisa.
I'll tell you what, you guys were one heck of a tandem back in the day. And we would say the same thing now.
I don't know about that. We might be a little slower, but
I'm not talking about that. Still making an impact in the lives of all the people as well as your children.
Oh, thank you.
Here's a line drive serve for Madison Beaver. This one is going to hit long, and the Pilots start out game number 2 with a 1-0 lead.
And that's exactly what Bethel needs to keep doing. Serve tough, serve the right people.
You can really see some of the difficulty that Peyton Hart has with her knee and some of her lateral movement here. From when you're down here on the floor, this ball goes awry, and the Pilots will take a 2-0 lead.
As someone with knee problems myself, I know how hard that is too when you are so used to being able to move a certain way and suddenly your body's kind of going, not right now.
And now again to serve will be Beaver. She angles one to the far side, nearly handcuffed hair on the play. And now the Pilots come back on the offensive attack. Beaver with the pass to McDonald. She redirects it, but she got just enough of it to punch it home. And just like it was in game 1, the Pilots score the first 3 points. and now lead 3-0.
Sometimes you get a miss hit, and it shows you where there's a good open spot on the court, and that's what McDonald just saw.
Here's one at the net, kept nicely alive by Paige Brenner. This one hammered home. Cowell Segrunzdov. Mount Vernon finds itself in a 4-0 hole now.
She is so athletic. She's fun to watch. She can get up. I mean, you don't see a lot of middles that, she's 5'9", smaller for a middle, but she just gets up so high.
There's a serve from Maddie Beaver going awry. That's a freebie there. That's I believe the second service error on the Pilots this afternoon. Makes it 4-1. Am I right on that one?
Let's see. Yep.
Downs with the save. Comes back over here. Ball deflected, and that's going to be out of play on the hit again. This time was Kelsey Fiedema, and that makes it 5-1 in favor of the Pilots. McDonald checking out.
McDonald has really improved as I've watched her this season. She's starting to hit the ball harder, take more angles. Her arm swing's getting more fluid.
With the ball now, Ellie Ruby on the dig. This one comes back long, and that one just along the line. Well placed over there by Tori Small, the Amherst, Ohio product. That makes it 5-2. Small, 278 kills starting today, along with 64 blocks, which is second on the club. This one kept nicely alive by Benner. Here's Hart with a pass to Beaver over to the right side. A diving save by Kelsey Fiedema. Downs comes up high. This one goes into the far corner. Diving play kept alive by Nicole Winkler. And the Pilots will take the freebie and jump out to a 6-2 advantage.
And that's that miscommunication I was talking about. Cannot wait for somebody else. You'd rather collide and get the ball over than be stuck staring at each other.
Here's the serve by Bridget Downs, the senior, with the ace. 7-2 on the service ace. Now, one thing it's been just apparent, and once again, Mount Vernon just does not seem to be talking as much as the Pilots are.
No, and
now they could be doing it in a quiet way.
Their body language now just
right, exactly.
Of frustration, and can't do that when you get in a situation like this.
Beaver with the pass, diving play redirected, and Downs tries to track it down. She couldn't. Boy, I love her effort.
I know. She comes up with a smile. Goes diving in the floor, comes up with a smile.
7-3 now. Now to serve will be Molly Galashevsky from Buckeye High School in Valley City, Ohio. Another one of those talented freshmen. Here's a pass over to the right side. Abby Arnold with the kill. That makes it 8-3 Pilots.
She hits that slide so nicely.
Abby Arnold, of course, played in the North-South All-Star game. The Crossroads League All-Freshman team. Crossroads League honorable mention. And an interesting note about her dog's named Bentley. There's a ball on the far side, tapped right back home by. There's the double block, kept alive. Beaver with the pass over here to Arnold. She goes with the soft toss. And now Downs keeps it alive. Beaver is able to score off the deflection, off of Tori Small. And it's now 9-3 in favor of the home team.
And not surprising, Arnold just getting a ton of touches on these blocks. They're not going to want to hit towards the middle of the court. They're not going to want to go into her. She's going to block them.
Mackenzie Williams on the serve, and that's going to be an ace. Mackenzie with her 34th ace of the year. That makes it 10-3. And the second ace of the second game for the home team. The former Elkhart Memorial Crimson Charger. Here's a pass to the far side, blocked, kept alive by Abby Arnold. And they're going to say that was 2 hits, and that makes it 10-4.
She just pulled it a little bit too much with their thumbs from her chin.
And now to serve will be Ellie Ruby. As one libero goes to the other libero. Here is a diving play kept nicely alive, but they're going to say one too many.
She was underneath
the net.
Yep. So some people might be wondering how come then on that first ball was she able to let it fly through her hands. But on that first ball, you can double it and still play it on that hard-driven ball. But when you're going to set it, you cannot.
Hart with the ace. 12-4. Molly Alexander needs a timeout. And there we go. I don't care what game it is.
Yeah.
You know when the momentum has changed.
Yep.
People say, well, how did you know they needed a timeout right there? Or so-and-so should take a timeout.
You can
feel the ebb and flow of the game. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care what sport it is.
And right now, Bethel's just serving them off the court. I mean, literally just serve them off the court into a timeout. And, right now, Nazarene, you can see in their body language, they don't want the ball to come to them. And she's got to get them to change their mindset of, I want that ball to come to me. I want to pass that ball. Whereas right now we're looking over there and it's kind of you take it, I don't want it kind of situation. And everyone's kind of sucking into themselves, being very quiet, and that is the exact opposite of what you have to do when you're struggling in a position like this.
Today's game on Regional Radio Sports Network is sponsored by First Source Bank. Forget running to the ATM or mailing a check. Start sending money with Zelle. It's fast, safe, and easy. Right from your First Source mobile banking app. Repay a friend for coffee easily with Zelle. Right from your First Source mobile banking app. First Source Bank, your partners from the first with e-student checking. Contact First Source Bank today. First Source Bank, a proud sponsor of Bethel University Athletics. And once again to serve, Bethel's number 6, Peyton Hart, the East Noble product. And this one's played on the back line by Winkler. And the Pilots will say thank you very much. And advance the lead to 13-4. And again, Hart to serve. Played on the back line by Galashevsky.
And that's what happens when you leave a player alone. Unfortunately, McDonald got caught up in the quick thinking she was going to have to block there, so there was absolutely no one, and she just took the backing off that ball.
Ashley Stumperth on the serve, and this one hammered home by Maddie Beaver on the hook shot, making it 14-5.
And she
Downs
can do
out.
that all night right now.
Yep. Well, it's one thing earlier in the season we had a chance to see Peyton Hart. She would exclusively go with that powerful jump serve.
Mm-hmm.
She's adjusted that to take some pressure off that bad left knee. And now she's doing that stationary serve. Here's Dahl kissing one off the tape where it's played by Winkler. This one deflects, diving play by Mackenzie Williams. McDonald send one back and punches it back again. We play patty cake with Galashevsky, and then this one goes in. And that makes it 14-6.
That might have been out, I think. But that's okay. That's how the game goes.
And now to serve will be Paige Brenner, the 5'7" freshman with 1,189 assists this year. Here's Beaver with the pass over to the right side. Dresdorf with a running right-handed bomb. This one kept alive. Now Downs to Beaver. McDonald punches it out. No.
Got a hold of that antenna. If the ball hits that antenna, it is out of bounds.
And that will make it 14-7. Again to serve will be Paige Brenner. Brenner with 401 digs. And this one is a free point for the Pilots on the service error. That's her second service error of the night. She served to start the match with a service error. And now Maddie Beaver to serve again. She sends one angling to the far side, and it's going to be an ace as it ricochets oddly off Alyssa Hare. And Bethel with a 16-7 advantage on the ace. That is the third ace of the second game for the home team. Maddie goes again back to Hare. There's the pass here to the near side. To the top of the net they go, and that one went right up the elevator shaft on the miss hit by Kelsey Feedema. That makes it 16-8. That's really one of the rare mistakes the Pilots on the unforced error right there. Mary Kate Harmadia to serve. Hart passes it over here to the near side, redirected for the score, and just like that, Feedema got it back, making it 17-8.
Very athletic play right there. That ball started to drift toward the net, and she was able to still kind of punch it through.
And once again, for the Pilots, Rachel Vendel. Vendel with 271 digs. This one double blocked and right back into the face of the Cougars, and it's now 18-8. If there's another timeout pending, this will be the good time for Molly Alexander. I had a chance to spend some time with Molly before the game. What a wonderful young lady and ambassador for this Mount Vernon Nazarene University. Here's one deflected, and that's going to be a point for the Pilots. That makes it 19-8. Molly appears is going to make her team to play through it. Sometimes you got to like that.
Yep.
Got to fight your way through the adversity. There's a pass to the right side. This one deflect. Downs keeps it alive. Now Vendel sends one up high, and then Wiedemann sends it back into the far corner where it's played by Ellie Ruby of Mount Vernon. This one hammered home. Big, powerful hit on the far side by Mount Vernon's Nicole Winkler for the point. That makes it 19-9.
You can see when the Cougars are in system, they're able to put the ball away. They're just really struggling to get in system right now.
Here's Beaver with the pass over here. Hart angles one. Diving play kept nicely alive by Brenner. Downs with a diving play. Now Beaver's there with the pass back in play, and this one redirected, and here we go back on the attack. The redirect for the score again. Maddie Beaver gives her club a 20-9 lead. She's got it stuck in automatic today.
Yep. She's really connecting well with her hitters right now. She's got such strong hands that even when her feet aren't there, she's able to get the ball to the hitter that she's hoping to.
Here is the serve by Downs. This one powerful, and this one killed home on the far way by Ashley Stumperth. It makes it 20-10 Pilots here, game 2. Once again, Pilots won game 1, 25-20, in case you're just joining us. And now to serve will be Galszewski. They're setting up the redirect there by Arnold. Hart finds the sweet spot. And now Mount Vernon back on the attack. Oh, a nice little change of pace play by Tori Small, and she scores, making it 20-11. 2 unanswered now by the Cougars. And now to serve will be Molly Galszewski. 5'7" freshman from Valley City, Ohio. Beaver with the pass to Hart. Played well again by Galszewski, and the Cougars with back-to-back points, making it 20-12. And I like this timeout here by Katie Weiss.
Yeah, stop the momentum. Don't let them, we know about these Cougars team, especially after last night, is they can come back and win. So you do not want to give them too much momentum on their side.
We'll be back with more of college volleyball right after this message on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Serving Indiana residents since 1985, Centier Bank remains committed to supporting students, schools, and families. Centier Bank is a proud sponsor of the Regional Radio Sports Network Performer of the Week in recognition of outstanding athletes. Visit Centier.com today to view this week's featured athlete. Centier Bank, member FDIC. Paul Condry along with Sarah McFarland Hendricks. Glad you could spend Saturday afternoon with us. We're going to wrap up our crazy 2-week schedule with men's basketball tonight. Steve Draben's men's basketball team off to a 3-0 start, coming off an impressive win last night at the Student Activity Center where they defeated a very, very good IU South Bend team 100-76 last night.
Wow.
They're
That's a good way to start.
Yep, beating 2 ranked teams to start the season in addition to a really good IU South Bend team. There's one kept nicely alive on the diving. What just a tremendous diving play that telling by Galszewski. This one punched home on the far side. Just like that, the Pilots respond, coming out of the timeout to take the lead up to 21-12.
Love seeing the emotion from the Pilots. Sometimes they go into autopilot, if you don't mind my pun, but it's always nice when they kind of come back and show a little emotion.
Here's Williams with the serve. Played again by Galszewski. Bethel on the attack. Williams to Beaver. This one just off the mark on the hit by Peyton Hart. She tried to send one down the near sideline. And that makes it 21-13.
Just over-rotated, wanted that line, and she was right to go for that line. Just over-rotated her body and crossed out of bounds.
Vendel with the pass. And here's Abby Arnold with the kill. 22-13. McDonald will rotate in, and out will come Rachel Vendel. And now Peyton Hart, once again, she's adjusted that serve, the stationary serve, was just as effective here. Galashevsky was on that return. Pass over here to McDonald. McDonald scores. Boy, she has played really well today, Coach.
She has. She's hitting a nice high ball, either off the block or she's going towards that corner.
Pilots up 10 for the second time tonight. They were up 20-10. There's a pass to the far side, played by Mary Kate Harmony, and then here's McDonald again for the kill. 24-13. Bethel will be serving for game 2 and a commanding 2-0 lead here in the match. There's the serve, nearly handcuffs Galashevsky. This one right up the elevator shaft. McDonald with the pass to Beaver. Arnold is there. Kept alive. Mount Vernon on the attack. Double block perfectly placed by the Pilots. Double block again. Sends it back to Mount Vernon South. McDonald with a nice play. This one kept alive by Williams. To Hart. Into the near corner. It was Arnold again. This one off the noggin of McDonald. What a great rally won by Mount Vernon. Maybe the best rally of the night. 24-14. Now to serve will be Ashley Stumperth, the Canton, Ohio native. Line drive to Williams. Over here is McDonald on the ricochet. Galashevsky is there. She tries to finish, kept alive. No, Arnold couldn't track it down. That makes it 24-15. For the second consecutive point, they've staved off elimination. And again, it's Stumperth, line drive. Hart over to Beaver. Arnold right up the elevator shaft. It goes McDonald with the two-hand flush. Kept alive. Downs. McDonald scores!
Now she does.
Pilots win 25-15 to take a commanding 2-0 lead in the match. We'll be back with more of Bethel University Sports right after this on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
When your child's in the hospital, the last thing you want to do is to leave their bedside.
If we had to leave the hospital at any time, it would have drove us nuts.
The family room was definitely a blessing for us. We needed to be close to our daughter, and it gave us exactly what we needed at that time.
Make a difference in the life of a family when they need it most. Give to the Ronald McDonald House at Memorial Children's Hospital in South Bend. Donate to our new house at loveshinethrough.org.
Paul Condry along with Sarah McFarland Hendricks. Glad you can join us. Bethel University Sports, underwritten in part by Michiana's largest dealer. That is, of course, Gates Automotive Group. Michiana's largest on-the-lot ready-to-buy inventory is available at any of the Gates Automotive locations. Get friendly, fair, and honest service with a 100-year reputation at Gates Chevy World, Gates Toyota, Gates of Granger, or Gates of Elkhart. For more information, go to www.gatesautomotive.com. All right, before we go to the stats and talk about this, I want to just go over some housekeeping that goes on here. We've noticed, and just for the novice fan, the coach comes here and presents the lineup to the umpire here. So talk about what that is all about.
Well, you know, in between games, you'll see the coaches talking to each other, especially when a team is down, 0-2. We've seen this team, obviously, last night come back and win 2 more and take a game to 5, which I was mistaken. They lost that game. However, they still did come back and not lose that game in 3. So what it is right now is these coaches are kind of getting together going, okay, do we want to change anything with our lineup? Do we want to keep the lineup the same? What do we want to do? Then they have to put that lineup down on paper and turn it into the refs to keep a book so that they can keep track, make sure that the lineups are correct, make sure the server is correct, because in case they ever get out of a rotation, that could mean a point for the other team. We look at these stats that we were just given here, and a big difference here. Mount Vernon Nazarene only hit a 103, whereas Bethel was at 306. Anyone watching that game could see, the Pilots were really doing a great job. McDonald, I'm not sure what her exactly Yeah, she had 375, 4 kills of 8 total attempts with only 1 error, and you could see that pretty easily coming. You could also see Beaver, even though she's a setter again, she is second with kills right now with 3, taking the ball over. They're doing a great job of getting the ball to Beaver, and she's distributing a great ball, connecting with her hitters really right now on a quicker set, which we know this Bethel crew loves to hit that quicker set, and they do well when they're in that offense.
And as I've had a chance to get to know Katie, and as she breaks this thing down in a little bit more simplistic form for this whole football guy here, one of the things they got to understand is that their whole thing is they want to, it's almost like fast break. They want to push the ball, push the tempo, and before anybody else has a chance to settle in, that's kind of been her MO, and that's exactly what she talked about in the pregame show, is pushing the pace and making Mount Vernon get in and out early. So now to serve, this is the way we started the contest today with Paige Brenner serving, and they score again. Pilots have scored the first point in all 3 sets so far.
I used to always say that to my team. We want to come out the first 5 points. We want the first point, kind of set the tone for the game, and then take small increments, game to 5, game to 10, small goals along the way.
Vendel again to serve. She angles one right in the middle. It's played by Winkler. This one played long, and now Downs keeps it alive, and then Peyton Harton swings and misses, and it's tied 1-1. So Mount Vernon on the serve, Ashley Stumperth. Mount Vernon on the year averaged 1 ace per game. Their opponents likewise at 1 ace. And here's a kill here on the near side by the athletic Kelsey Grusdorf, and it's now 2-1. Once again, this Bethel team, you could just see the emotion. I don't know if it's the senior day thing, playing for Bridget Downs or whatever the case may be, but they are jacked up right now.
Yeah, and they're having fun, and that's what it should be.
Here's a nice, powerful play on the far side by Nicole Winkler. The West Salem, Ohio native punches one home.
And I like that Downs is playing out of middle back. It's kind of been a change in philosophy. A lot of people usually play their libero in the left back, but a lot of teams have gone to the middle back because that's where just more balls are going.
Here's Hare with the pass. Now Ruby. And this one deflected, and that'll be a point for the Cougars, and they now have the lead at 3-2. That's the first time they have led since 10-9 in game number 1. The Pilots went wire to wire. Here is Hart with a little soft toss, and just like that, we're deadlocked at 3-3.
That was close. It looked like it almost was up, but he had a great vantage point over there, so I'm sure he could see it better than we could if that pancake was down.
Mackenzie Williams again on the serve. Number 13 punches one and angled there to Hare. Over on the right side, double block, and well done by Hare to keep that one in play. And that will be a point for the Pilots, and they now lead 4-3.
That 50-50 ball in the middle of the net. Arnold did a great job of going up and pushing against, but Nazarene in the net.
And now to serve will be Williams again, and that'll be an ace. That makes it 5-3. I think that's 4 aces now on the day now for the home team. They had 3 in the last game, if my numbers are right.
I believe so, yeah.
Hare couldn't handle it. That'll be another ace. 6-3. Hare, one of the seniors from Viceroy, Ohio, went to Winford High School. Here's, nice little play, change of pace, but Peyton Hart, the athletic one, redirects a Paige Brenner offering, and that makes it 7-3.
That is nothing but just an athletic move. That ball was going to go down if she did not jump up and just kind of push it back over.
Williams again on this serve. Angles one again over to Hare. You can see they're picking on her.
Yeah, they are.
Here's one blocked at the net by Abby Arnold. This one sent to the right side, well placed over there, away from the defense. Tori Small with the kill. That makes it 7-4 in favor of the Pilots. And coming in to serve will be Molly Galashevsky. Number 13 angles one into the hands of Downs. Hart comes cross court where it's played by Ruby. Downs with a pass over here to the near side. Arnold scores. on the kill. 8-4 Bethel. And McDonald will check into the game now for Vendel. And Peyton Hart will be serving from left to right now on your screen. Blue jerseys for the Pilots, green jerseys for the Cougars in case you're just hopping along. This one block kept alive and right into yours truly's hands. And just like that, we're going to have a timeout on the floor. 9-4, Bethel University with the lead and a timeout on the court. We'll be back with more of college volleyball right after this short timeout on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
All right, welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. 9-4. Sarah, the emotional Bethel Pilots seem to have gotten some serious mojo going on here as, once again, Molly Alexander forced to take a timeout here.
And it's like she's kind of willing her team. They're just looking really flat right now is a term we use as coaches. They're just coming out flat, playing flat. She's trying to kind of be their cheerleader, get them going, get them talking. But at some point, they're going to have to start doing it.
And Peyton Hart again on the serve. She angles one to the far side. This one blocked again by McDonald. Kept alive by Ruby. Hart to Beaver. Armold. Oh, what a wonderful play by Winkler on the back line. Mackenzie Williams to Beaver. She scores again. And that just makes it 10-4. If you look at the standings here, this could play a pivotal role.
Yeah.
Because Mount Vernon, depending upon what Grace does against Marion, well, we know what that's going to happen. So.
Oh, great dig.
And here's McDonald again with the soft toss. Pass over to the right side. Block kept alive nicely on the redirect by Ellie Ruby. Beaver hammers one home. That makes it 11-4. Even if Mount Vernon were to lose, that would move them at 10-8 because you just got to almost assume that Grace is going to lose to Marion today. As McDonald is there with the two-hand dunk. 12-4. So from a standing standpoint, don't think it's going to make that big a deal. Here is a nice little play in the middle of the floor by Tori Small to score the point. That makes it 12-5. That ends a 6-0 Pilot run. Hart kept that one alive. Now here's a pass back to McDonald. Diving play by Winkler.
Yep, got to call that.
And that'll be a point for BU. 13-5. Coach, we've done a lot of games this year. This is one of the, a lot of volleyball still yet to play, but one of the best performances we've seen from this Bethel team. We saw them play really good against Taylor. We've seen that Indiana University South Bend team play really well in a couple outings. And Hannah Marie Dell tried to save that one, couldn't. And congratulations, I might point out, goes to Jamie Ashmore and her team. They won a school record 19 matches with their win last night against Governor State University. And they are in number 2, and they're going to have a home game in the CCAC tournament as the way it plays itself out. McDonald goes back to the line where Stumperth is there. Hare was able to, now check that. That was Nicole Winkler with the kill. That makes it 13-7.
Great accomplishment for Coach Ashmore.
Here's the low line drive. Hart with the pass here to the right side. Nice. McDonald with the howitzer. 14-7. Bethel. Game 3 leading up 2-0.
And a big smile for Mom in the stands.
Pilots again to serve. Madison Beaver angles one here to the near side. Galashevsky was there. Down sends one up the elevator shaft, and then Beaver's back there to play it. And then Hart goes far corner, dug out by Galashevsky. This one deflected off the double block. Beaver over here.
Oh, just got it.
Grosdorf just got a finger on it, and then McDonald kept it alive. This one ricochets off the pilot to Grosdorf, and Mount Vernon wins the point, 14-8 in favor of the Pilots now. And now to serve for Mount Vernon will be Brenner. And she comes up with the ace. 14-9 on the service ace. And once again, we can see they're trying to take advantage of the sore knee for
And what he
Peyton
says,
Hart.
we're going to pull back someone to help her out.
Here's the serve in. That's the second time Casey Bunner has hit one into the net. She started the entire event with that today. The very first point of the match.
That's right.
And now it's Vendel, played by Winkler. Right side.
Oh,
Downs
overhead.
with a diving play to keep it alive, but no help there. That makes it 15-10. And now to serve will be Mary Kate Harmony. Harmony sends one to Downs. Beaver over on the far side. Hart is able to score. That makes it 16-10 Bethel.
You can just tell Hart is not at 100%. That's a ball she would normally just pound.
But
And
how many times have you been around athletes
Yep.
who
It's just
just
part of
their
the game.
presence on the floor,
Yep.
whether they're at 50% or 70%, just make their team better?
Yep, exactly.
A nice kill here for Tori Small. That makes it 16-11. Coming out of the game will be Bunner, and back into the contest will be 5'9" freshman Ashley Stumperth. She'll be here on the left side from where we're sitting courtside. Vendel with a pass here to, and they're going to say in the net.
Oh, they're
And-
calling Beaver back. Beaver's back row. She went up to try to bring that ball back, but because the other side touched it, they're going to say that she was back row, which means she can't technically take the ball over the net.
16-12 now, and here's another service error. And that'll give the Pilots a 17-12 advantage. And now to serve for the home team will be Mackenzie Williams. And that's an ace. 18-13 on the service ace from the former Memorial Crimson Charger.
Cougars just missing that leader stepping up going, we're not going to do this.
Williams again with the serve.
Great serve.
And another ace.
I want to make an adjustment over here with the Cougars. They are just, right now, just going right at Hare and just, she's struggling with that pass.
19-13. Williams again with the serve. This one just touches the tape and kept alive by Brenner. And this one goes out of bounds, and the Pilots now lead it 20-13. And the question is, will Molly Alexander take her second time out here? She will not, and Williams again to serve. This one goes along, played by Ellie Ruby, the libero in the back line. Williams passes over to Beaver. Back to Hart.
Great
She
play.
scored.
That was down.
Wow, what a play on the dive. They got the pancake on that one. This one
there you
hammered
go.
home
And this
by
is what,
Arnold.
You never celebrate because you never know when that ball's up.
21-12 according to the score sheet. I got 21-13 in my book, but we'll go with what the score sheet says. And that's what we'll do. We'll be back with more of college volleyball with the Pilots trying to pull the upset here today on Regional Radio Sports.
This is boot camp. This is the real thing now. You've never done anything so hard in your life. You don't understand how you can finish. It takes inner strength and desire to become a Marine. When I finished, I was like, I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Welcome once again here on Regional Radio Sports. Paul County along with the All-American Sarah McFarland Hendricks. All right, Sarah. Molly Alexander's got a tough road to hoe. She's down 2-0. Her team is trailing 21-12 here in this pivotal third game What can she do?
You know, she's just got to keep pushing them. I think, you know, right now we're looking at some body language of some kids that are already maybe on the bus headed home. So just trying to get them to get a little bit of spunk here, make a couple of good plays.
Here's a diving play by Vendel to keep that alive. Hart comes back and scores again to make it 22-12.
And I've been there. I've been there as a coach where you feel like you're kind of trying to will your team to play. You wish you could just go on the floor and play for them. It's such a frustrating and hard thing to be as a coach, but you got to stay positive and just keep going play for play.
Williams again, and that serve handcuffed the Librero for Mount Vernon. Over on the far side, Hart sends one, and that'll be a point. As you can see, she just cannot elevate off that sore knee.
Yeah.
22-13 now, our score. Rotation. Hare coming out of the game now, and coming back in will be Molly Galashevsky. Galashevsky will serve over on the far corner. And she angles one here, was played by Williams. Not a Beaver. Arnold goes there. And this one comes up to the net. Ricochets off of Vendel. And then Beaver sends it to the back line, and it goes out of bounds. That makes it 22-14. And once again on the serve for Mount Vernon is Galashevsky. Vendel over here to the near side. Mackenzie Williams sends one to the back line where it's played by Winkler. This one running out of room, running out of real estate. It's kept alive. Well done on the far side by Vendel. And this one ricochets. And give Rachel Vendel all the credit for the point. She never gave up on the ball. 23-14. What a play by Rachel Vendel. And now in the game for Bethel is Shaylin Bowman, 5'8" freshman from South Adams High School. And Shaylin will serve. Wearing jersey number 17. We have not called her name very many times. Her serve. Angles here to the near side. Kept alive by, and Beaver is able to punch it home. And here we are. 24-14. The Bethel University Pilots are serving for a 3-0 sweep of highly regarded Mount Vernon here at home today. Bowman with the serve. Setting up shop, nicely played by Tori Small to remain alive. 24-15.
And you talk about, you know, we've seen a lot of volleyball this year, and this is definitely the best game we've seen them play, and what a great night to do it on.
Here's Bowman with the pass. Bowman sends it back. Over on the right side, this one is hammered home through the double block. Ashley Stumperth makes it 24-16 for the second time. They remain alive. Again on the serve will be Ellie Ruby, Wheelersburg High School, Ohio. Passing to the right side, Arnold. Deflected, kept alive. Over to the right side, double block, kept alive, and then down sends it to the back line. Pass up to the top, double block, score it! Pilots win it! 25-16, and sweep away the highly regarded Mount Vernon Nazarene University Cougars. Katie Weiss' squad moves to 13-21, 6-11 in the Crossroads League. Mount Vernon falls to 23-10, and 10-8 in the Crossroads League. What a win for Katie and company. We'll be back and hear some thoughts from Katie, and we'll also get some thoughts here from Bridget Downs on senior night. All that coming your way after the timeout.
To be able to just get my son to St. Jude and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance.
All right, we're going to bring it back here to the live broadcast once again. Well, what an incredible night for the Bethel volleyball team as they up in highly regarded Mount Vernon Nazarene. Sarah, first of all, this young lady just, I know that when we're going through the player introductions and the senior announcements, your eyes kind of got a little wide when you heard about her 4.0 for 4 straight years.
Yep.
That's pretty good stuff, huh?
To go 4 years in a volleyball program is one thing, but 4.0, that is something to be proud of.
Thank you.
Girl.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
All right, this one was for you, kiddo.
Yes.
What a
it was
great
fun.
way to finish out your senior season here at
Yeah.
home against one of the best teams in the league. How are you feeling?
I feel awesome. That was so much fun to play. Kind of bittersweet, though. I'll definitely miss playing here in this gym.
What, when you think back on the opportunity that you've been afforded here, what stands out?
The team, for sure. When I was being recruited here, I met the girls, and that was what made my decision so easy. And today, actually, we just had a girl sign for next year, so it's kind of, they're bringing in new people, and it's the team that keeps everyone here.
All right, so you think back on the 4 years, all the highs and the lows, all the bus rides, all the things that you've been able to experience. When you get to having children of your own, what will be the things that you'll share with your children about your college experience? I mean, Sarah's in this situation right now. I mean, she's got kids of her own, but I mean, the reality of it is she was an All-American at the Loyola Marymount. She's won a state championship as a coach and as a player. So she's got a lot of experiences to be able to share with her kids growing up. So what will you share with your kids?
I would definitely emphasize that it's not only the wins and losses that you remember, but just the memories that you make, the fun times, because years from now, I probably won't remember the score of this game, but just how much fun it was to compete with my team.
You got a thought?
I mean, 100%. That's what I can't remember half the games we played in, but I still talk to my teammates. I mean, Lisa was one of my teammates. So I mean, we still connect, and we're older.
I think they're expecting you to be down there in that picture.
No, you're kind of the center of that picture.
So go down there and get your picture, and then when you're done, send Katie back.
Yeah.
We're so proud of you, kiddo.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right. Once again, such a humble soul, and how important is this? That's a cool experience right there, is that not?
I mean, what a great way. I mean, you can't be anything but just happy. I mean, all the emotions of tonight, and then to come out and play so great. I mean, everybody tonight, just everything was on, the passing, the setting, the hitting, the digging, I mean, all of it. So, Katie has to be very proud of this team to come out and play that way. And when you talk about playing for one of your teammates, that definitely happens when you kind of rise up and go, okay, this is somebody who's been so important to our program, obviously, not just physically on the court, but also as a leader. What a great night for her.
Look at the Pilots' hitting percentage
Wow.
in the match as a whole. In game 1, 280, 306 in game 2, and 313.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, what a great night for all the way around. Madison Beaver had a great night tonight for them as well.
all right, let's bring in Katie Weiss. Katie, congratulations,
Thank
my friend.
you.
How much fun was that?
That was a great match. Great match for us.
All right, so first of all, I know that all the senior day festivities are over, and we had a chance to talk to Bridget when she was over here. And I know that you and I recorded some things, but now that you're going out and sending her out a winner here at home against a really, really good team.
Yeah.
How emotional does this make you, thinking about that she'll remember this one for the rest of her life?
Boy, I hope she will. It was a great game. It's a game that we should be playing like this all the time. So I think it's, sweet. I'm glad she won't be crying tonight, right? She's going to be happy. But yeah, I mean, this is a special team, and I think that, we were talking before the game where she's just in a few games from now, she's going to be like so sad and think, gosh, I wish I could just play one more game. It goes so fast.
Yeah, there's a great country song by Scotty McCreery called 5 More Minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard that, getting an opportunity to do something for 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
And how would you like to have this team play like this for 5 more minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, seriously, this team seemed to be clicking on all cylinders today.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it right from the get-go that you wanted to attack fast.
Yes, absolutely. I think we did a great job of getting one-on-ones, and our hitters just did a good job of executing. I think this was probably Maddie's best game of the season. Yep. She actually really put the ball in play well, and so our hitters could swing. I just told her a few minutes ago, I just said best game of your season, and she was like, I know, like it was. She felt it. She trusted herself. She trusted her hitters. And so that's a good step.
All right, so now you've got the dubious distinction to taking on that other really good team in your league that's highly regarded. What kind of confidence can this win give you in going down to Marion?
I hope that we can focus on when you face teams like Indiana Wesleyan, Marion. Sometimes you just focus on them, and on games like that, we've got to focus on us. So getting our passes there, our sets there, hitters feeling confident to swing, that's just key as we go into another really tough match on Wednesday.
You and I talked before the game, and you were really disappointed in losing to Indiana Wesleyan in the manner that you did.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, give that team credit for being really,
Absolutely.
really good.
Yeah.
This certainly erases some of the bad taste.
It does. Better weekend. I'll have a great day tomorrow now.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, and thanks for inviting us to be a part of your family.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Once again, a special thanks to Katie Weiss for joining us. All right. You got some thoughts on those final numbers there, kiddo?
One of the big numbers that just sticks out to me is 9 service aces. I mean, that's, when you are going to push a team and get 9 service aces, as well as just, serve a team so well that we know can hit the ball. So when they're in system, they were getting kills. But Bethel did a great job tonight of, like Katie said, getting a lot of one-on-ones. But the big thing here is from the service line, you control the game. And when you can serve as well as Bethel did tonight and push a good team like this Nazarene team off the net so that they are not able to get their hitters what they want to do, you're able to sweep a team like this in, I think it was about an hour and a half, if not less. And if they can do that down at Marion, if they can do that for the remainder of the season, they're going to have a great end of the year.
All right, that's going to do it for our coverage. Hey, it's been awesome spending time with you. I hope we're going to get a home game over at Indiana University South Bend in the post game. Hope we can get that done. Best of luck. You're going to be working the state finals for the IHSA. We're proud of you.
That's it. You know what? I'm excited. This has been a fun chapter of my life. I guess I didn't see coming, but it's been so much fun and kind of keeping me in the gym. And I appreciate all the experience and allowing me to come in here and do this with you.
All right, Tanya Conde, wonderful job as always running the show up there. Well done. We're going to send you a flower and a bouquet up there your way. But most importantly, we want to thank you for your wonderful work. Once again, Mount Vernon drops to 23-10, 10-8 in the league. Pilots improved to 13-21 and 6-11. Final score: Pilots sweep away the Cougars 25-20, 25-15, and 25-16. For all of us at Regional Radio Sports, thanks again to the coaches who spent time with us, Molly Alexander and Katie Weiss. It's been great to be able to watch Bridget Downs conclude her college varsity career here at home. And once again, congratulations to the Lafayette, Lexington, Kentucky native. For all of us at Regional Radio Sports, stick around. We have the Bethel Men's College or Bethel Men's University opener coming your way a little bit later on today. So I hope we can get through that one. We'll do that after this. For all of us at Regional Radio Sports, God bless you all. Semper Fidelis. Good night, everyone.